ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति
मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः।
दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
ओम शांति शांति।
ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं।
ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं।
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्।
व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्।
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम्।
अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम्।
अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः।
यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः।
वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः।
ध्यानावस्थिततत्प्रदेन मनसा पश्यन्ति योगिनः
यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः
यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः
We were here. Esha te bihita sankhye. Esha te
विहिता
सांख्ये
buddhir-yoge tvimam shruno.
बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु
Buddhya yukto yaya partha.
बुद्ध्या
युक्तो यया पार्थ
Karma bandham prahasyasi.
कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि
We were in 39th verse. We consider very important because now Bhagavan is switched over to Jnana Yoga to Karma Yoga. And this is this significant verse. And in this Bhagavan says, Sankhye Buddhihi Abhihita, Te Abhihita. The meaning of Sankhya, the meaning is with reference to Atmagnanam, with reference to even Jnana Yoga, Buddhi, Te Abhihita. I have already told. Now, Yoge tu Imam Shrunu. Now, please you listen, Shrunu. Please listen, Yoge. And the meaning of Yoga is Karma Yoga. With reference to Karma Yoga, Imam Buddhihi. This, and here the meaning of Buddhihi means wisdom. First, Bhagavan taught a wisdom with reference to self-knowledge. But now, Bhagavan says, with this wisdom, with reference to Karma Yoga, to Imam Shrunu. Now may you listen. And if suppose Arjuna asked, what will I get some benefit out of performing or listening this Karma Yoga? Then Bhagavan says, Yaya Buddhya, because of which Karma Yoga, Yuktaha, when you become endowed with this Karma Yoga, what will happen? Karma Bandhaha Prahasyasi. You will get rid of Karma Bandha, a bondage of action, bondage of karma. Last week or last Sunday, we have seen what is karma bondage of action. Just we will see what we have seen. Karma bandha prahasya siddha mean you will get rid of the bondage of karma. But what is karma bandha? So here the meaning of karma is not mere action, but the meaning of karma bandha is punya papa. Like we say sanchita karma. The meaning of sanchit karma is also punya papa. So when Bhagavan says karma bandham prahasyasi means you will get rid of your own punya papa. And how can we get this punya papa? For that we have seen this chart. And this flow chart, in this we have seen, because of our ignorance about self, we always feel something missing inside. We always feel some inadequate inside. And for this reason, we always keep on desiring something I will do so I can become adequate inside. So mere desire doesn't work. Then we do lots of karma. Something we feel I am unhappy. Then somebody says, if you have money, you become happy. But money we may get legitimately, that money we can get illegitimately. So this type of karma we can do dharmika way, we can do also adharmika way also. Dharmika legitimate, adharmika illegitimate. If dharmika way, it will give punya. If illegitimate, then it will give papa. And this punya papa is equal to called sanchita karma or karma. And this karma is responsible for next birth. And this is called karma bandha, means bondage of karma. And with the help of karma yoga, Bhagavan says, we can get rid of this bondage of karma. So how can we can get rid of this karma? What Bhagavan has taught, in previous, means 11th verse to 25th verse, we can, if we have self-knowledge, then no punya papa, really speaking. But still we don't have self-knowledge, then how can we relatively away from our punya papa? That's why Bhagavan says, karma yoga helps. And how? Karma yoga helps to prepare our mind for self-knowledge, and this self-knowledge totally remove our punya papa. But what is the job of karma yoga? That we will see, and that will help to remove our bondage of action. So what is karma? The meaning is what is karma? We have seen up to here. Now, last time also I have seen, but today I am interested only in this chart. We have seen karma is three types. One is sattvika, rajasika and tamasika. But here, today I will see sattvic karma means with the help of sattvic karma, our inner growth will be maximum. And for inner growth, we have to do more and more selfless action. Means without personal motive, if we do more and more karma, then our inner growth will be maximum. Then which type of karma helps us to become we can increase our inner growth? In what is that type of karma, that I would like to discuss before going into still in our verse. In scriptures, they prescribes karma. There are 5 types of karmas prescribed in our scriptures. Shastra, the first name is Nitya Karma. The meaning of Nitya Karma is daily duty. But we will see what is Nitya Karma in detail. But right now I have written Nitya Karma means our day-to-day duties. This is called Nitya. Nitya means daily. And Karma means action. Our daily duties, karmas. That it will come in detail. But second karma prescribed in scriptures is Naimittik. The meaning of Naimittik is if some special occasion arises and then we have to do some karma, some action, it's called Naimittik. Nimitta. It's having got some nimitta and then we do, it's called Naimittik. Suppose it was announcement, some newcomer in this family will come, some baby will come. There is a possibility of baby. Then there are many rituals, no? Before baby, we keep that baby shower, what we say nowadays. But we used to say is on 6th month, before in pregnancy. Some ritual, it's called Naimittik. Even after birth also, 6th day, we keep name. There are many sanskara, cultures for baby after birth. So it's called Naimittik. Even for marriage also, we have many rituals before marriage, after marriage, and when couple they go to their own house, then there are different type of rituals. All are called nemitic. And even at the time of death, there are many rituals on 12th day, on 11th day. This all type of karma are called nimitic. Nimit, having got some nimitta, and then we have to perform, it's called nimitic karma. One is nitya karma, another is nimitic karma. The name of third karma is given is kamya karma. The meaning of kamya karma is the actions which are based on our likes and dislikes. Something we like and then we do, and some we don't like and then still we do to avoid something. All are called kamya karma. The meaning of kamya, according to our desire, is called kamya. Desire based karma. Oh, I have to write something. Is called kamya karma. Fourth is called pratishiddha karma, or another name is nishiddha karma. The meaning of pratishid and it's called not to be done. Some action we should not do. And what comes is say, speak truth, satyam vada, non-violence, ahimsa, kalanjam na bhakshayet, don't eat meat, suram na pibet, don't drink alcohol. All are given in our Shastra. Satyam vada, ahimsam chara, kalanjam na bhakshayet, and suram na pibet. All are written. It's called not to be done. Never we never do. We should not do any time. It's called pratishiddha or nishiddha karma. This is the fourth one. And fifth one is prayashchitta karma. Unknowingly, we may commit some wrong action. Unknowingly, then to neutralize that action, what we have committed wrong action, to neutralize, we do something. Even there are many vratam available in our shastra or scriptures. They are say you do japa. There is a Chandrayana tapa, Kricha Chandrayana tapas. If you have heard name, I don't know, but there are different type of tapas. By doing this tapas, what we have done something, some nishiddha karma, it will neutralize. This is called prayashchitta karma. So 5 karmas: nitya karma, naimittik karma, kamya karma, pratishiddha karma, and prayashchit karma. This we should not do anytime. This we do to neutralize our wrong action. Kamya karma, which we keep on doing to fulfill our desire. Naimittik karma, we are doing having got some special occasion. Even some birthday, if we keep birthday party, it's called naimittik karma. Same way, nitya karma means daily duty. So now we will see what is nitya. This we have seen in brief. What is naimittik, what is kamya, what is pratishit, and what is prayashchit. Now, what is nitya karma? In nitya karma, this will come. Pancha Mahayagya. It will come in third chapter, but in Karma Yoga it will come, because now Karma Yoga has started. And what is Pancha Mahayagna? We will see here I have written, but really speaking, this all karma to show our gratitude towards this five. It's called Pancha Mahayagna. And really speaking, here Yagna doesn't mean these five rituals. But here Yagna means we are offering something, but where? By doing our action. Properly we are doing action, we are offering someone. It's called Yagnaha. So we are offering our action to Ishvara. We are offering our action to our forefathers, our parents. We are offering our action to human being. We are offering good actions to accept human being, all beings. All are called Yagna. So offering good karmas to help others, it's called Nitya Karma. So first one is called Deva Yagna. And here Deva means Ishvara. And what is Yagna? So this human birth, what we have got, is only because of Ishvara's grace. And to show our gratitude towards Ishvara, if we are doing daily prayers, puja, it's called Deva Yagna. But it says in our Shastras, give a quality time for prayers. More or less, we always finish our prayers and puja very quickly if some guests are there. Then we think we will talk leisurely. Let me finish first quickly our puja. But really speaking, the meaning of Deva Yagna means give your quality time. Because at that time only our mind is fresh. So we can communicate with Ishvara. We can say thank you to Ishvara. What we all are doing, it's called Deva Yagna. Even to have Manushyatvam is very rare. Even being Manushya, we have good education. We have good parentage. We are near to our scriptures. All are blessings from Ishvara only, no? So something we have to do for Ishvara. Ishvara needs nothing from us. But still, this is our duty to say thank you to Ishvara. These prayers, all what we are doing for Ishvara is called Deva Yagna. This is compulsory. This all five Pancha Mahayagna is compulsory for all householders. Gruhastha, these all are compulsory. Then second yagna is called Pitru Yagna. Because we don't have Father's Day, Mother's Day, really speaking. Because each and every day is Father's and Mother's Day only. Because we always respect our parents. So the meaning of Pitru Yagna is give a respect to your elders. Parents, Pitru means parents. And it doesn't mean parents means both sides, maternals, paternals, our parents, our mother's side elders, father's side elders. For what? We are doing something good for them. We are helping them. We give respect them. All actions are called Pitru Yagna. So what we are doing good for them, we are helping them, it is considered as a yagna. Is we are offering our actions to our elders. It's called Pitru Yagna. So no Father's Day, no Mother's Day. Every day is Father's Day, Mother's Day for us. So third one is called Brahma Yagna. And here the meaning of Brahma Yagna is scriptures, Shastra. Scriptures. What you are studying here, whatever knowledge about scriptures, culture, you being a parent, you have to hand over to next generation. It's called Brahma Yagna. If parent doesn't hand over this valuable knowledge of scriptures to their next generation, then next generation doesn't have knowledge of our scriptures. So what is the duty of being parents? They have to hand over whatever we know. If nowadays Navaratri is here, if you are chanting Lalita Sahasra, whatever, Durga Saptashati, somewhere our children should know. Even they are simple Hanuman Chalisa, simple something. Our children should know all this. And I always used to say, children's always, they never listen, all children, when they are very young, they never listen. They always see a video, what is going on in their home. If father and mother are chanting loudly, some stotra, unknowingly all they will pick up. It's called Brahma Yagna. To educate them, what is our culture? To educate them, what is the meaning of stotras? It is called Brahma Yagna. It's called Parampara, Vande Guru Parampara, same way, Vande Gruhastha Parampara. This is to be handed over to another generation. It's called Brahma Yagna. This all comes in Nitya Karma. That's why I have taken this whole section separately. So it's called Brahma Yagna. And then Manushya Yagna. And the meaning of Manushya Yagna is we help society. All human beings, whatever we have, if we help, it's called Manushya Yagna. There are mentioned two types of karma in Shastra. One is called Ishta Karma and another is called Purta Karma. Is given, this shloka is given our Shastra. So what is Ishta Karma? It is written Agnihotram, that Yagya, Agnihotra. You must be knowing, if in some family a boy gets married to one girl, then the fire of that marriage fire ritual, they have to take along with this girl. So fire will come along with that girl and both have to maintain fire lifetime. It's called Agnihotra. Nowadays nobody is there to do like this, but it's called Agnihotra. Then Agnihotra, then Tapaha. There are different type of tapas one has to follow. Satyam Vedanam Anupalanam. Satyam and Vedanam. Here it should be, we have to speak truth and we have to follow scriptures. Vedanam Anupalanam Atithyam. Actually here it should be Atithyam. Whatever guest, we have to respect guest as a Ishvara. Atithyam Vaishvadevaha. You know what is Vaishvadevaha? When in previous day, in fire, we offer some cooked something, cooked, whatever we have cooked, meal, some rice, what we offer, it's called Vaishvadeva. It's called Ishta Karma, but mainly in Manushya Yagna, this will come. Purta Karma. It is Purta. Dirgaha. Purta Karma. Purta. And what we called Purta Karma, it says, Vapi Kupatadagadi Devata Ayatanani cha Anna Pradana Aramaha Purtam iti abhidhiyate. Vapi, all are water reservoir. To create, to make. Vapi means there is a water reservoir, but we can go down inside the well. There are steps are there. It's called Vapi Kupaha, means a well. to build a well for society, to build a water reservoir with steps. We can go inside to fill up the water. It's called Vapi, and Tadaga means big lake. So in previous day, when there is a scarcity, no rain, then kings, they asked to do, please dig out some portion so water can come when rainy season will start. So Tadag means lake. For others, it's called Purta Karma. It's called Manushya Yagna. Devatayana, to build a temple for others. Anna Pradana, to give food to somebody else. Aramaha. Nowadays, hotels are available. Whenever we go, hotels are available. But in previous, very ancient time, there is no hotels. When people used to go for pilgrimage, where they can have rest. So they built small, open, small house, open hall. So they can cook their meal, they can have rest, and they can proceed. It's called Aramaha. In Hindi, they say chatti. So if somebody has gone to chatti, Garuda Chatti, if you go to Chardham Yatra, Badrinath, Kedarnath, there are many chattis. So they build a small open hall so people can have rest. These all are called Purtam iti Abhidhiyate. They are called, Abhidhiyate means they are called Purta Karma. They come under Manushya Yagna. So in whichever way we can help the society, it is called Manushya Yagna. If this is very big thing, it's okay. I always used to say, even to give a smile, gentle smile to people, it's also one type of donation, one type of contribution. It is also difficult. People never talk to each other. They just change their faces. So to help other human being, it's called Manushya Yagnaha. And last, Bhuta Yagnaha. The meaning Bhuta Yagnaha means except human being, all beings. To help all beings are called Bhuta. So we never worry. Before many years, we never have any tension of environment, no global warming, because we always have some feeling, some respect for all our nature. In South, this column, is Bhuta Yagnaha. They, out of rice flour, they put rangoli. This decoration all ends. We offer water to Pippala, Pippal tree, many tree. It's all are called Bhuta Yagna. Here, there is a one person, he always give grains to all type of birds, are called Bhuta Yagna. If we cut one tree, we have to plant more than 5 trees, are called Bhuta Yagna. So these are called Pancha Yagnaha, and plus our daily duties as a father, as a mother, as an employee, as a businessman, whatever we are doing, Pancha Mahayagna plus our daily duty, it's called Nitya Karma. In Shastra, they say Nitya Karma. If you are a businessman, you are doing your business, you are employee, you are in clerk, you are doing your job. This plus this are called Nitya Karma. Then now what is Karma Yoga? This we have seen, but what is Karma Yoga? So in Karma Yoga, there is 2 words. One is Karma and another is Yoga. So here Karma, the meaning is Nitya Karma. What we have seen is called Karma. So we have to do our day-to-day action, but which? Nishiddha Karma, Kamya Karma. So he says, no, you do Nitya karma is called in karma yoga is karma. Even naimitic also we can do, no problem. So nitya and naimitic karma is called karma. Then what is yoga? The meaning of in karma yoga, what is yoga? So it says yoga means attitude. Nothing is only our mental disposition, our mind disposition. And what is yoga means what is attitude while performing our karma is called yoga. At the same time, yoga means while receiving the result of karma, which type of attitude we have to keep in our mind is called yoga. So here yoga is not Patanjali yoga. Here yoga is not a chapter, but here yoga is mere attitude, nothing else. And what is that yoga that we have seen? But still, being we are karma yoga in chapter, so we have to see. So before doing day-to-day karma, we have to understand what is Ishvara and where is Ishvara. Without understanding Ishvara, we cannot understand karma yoga properly. Because once we have to know where is Ishvara. In general, not Vedanti, but one people in general, they always think Ishvara is sitting up somewhere in the sky, in the space somewhere, and he is blessing us. But it is not true. According to our Shastra, in Ishavasyamidam Sarvam, the meaning is everything is pervaded by Ishvara only. Sarvam idam sarvam. Idam is this. Sarvam is everything, including our body, mind, sense complex. Everything is Isha. Here Isha means by Ishvara, Vasyam, Achaditam. Everything is pervaded by Ishvara only. I used to say, and everybody knows, in this pot, if this is pot, clay pot, so where is the clay? We used to say, clay is not sitting here, clay is not only here. Wherever pot, clay is. Same way, Ishvara has become everything. Sarvam abhavat. If Ishvara has become everything, so in this creation, in this universe, whatever is there is nothing but Ishvara in different name and different forms. So if this understanding should be understood properly, otherwise we cannot follow, we cannot give a proper attitude to karma yoga. So first we have to know where is Ishvara. If we say, suppose chain, gold chain, so in gold chain there is a two thing, gold plus form of chain. I used to say form. If here Bengal is there, so gold and Bengal's form. So gold is everywhere, in each and every ornament. Same way, Ishvara is everywhere. Nothing is without Ishvara. This understanding only helps for karma yoga. So Ishavasya vidam sarvam. This is sarvam abhavat. I have taken from Taittiriya Upanishad. There are set of mantra, but sarvam abhavat means that Ishvara become everything. This abhavat. Nowadays, one who is listening this our past perfect became, Ishvara became everything. Sarvam abhavat. So whatever we do, not mere puja, but our day-to-day, each and every action is nothing but offering to Ishvara. No? So I used to say, if we sit every day in the front of Ishvara, in our altar, only for 1 hour, even 15 minutes, whatever, it's not over. From there, our puja begins. and for whole day. Whatever we do, if we are doing our job, if we are doing cooking, we are used to go our office, whatever we do is nothing. Each and every action is nothing but offering to Ishvara. That's why in Shiva Manas Stotra, there is a one line, Yat Yat Karma Karomi. Whatever karma I do, he does, but I do. Whatever karma I do, Yat Yat, Tat Tat, that all karma, He Shambho Tava Aradhanam. So, if I listening also, it is also offering to Ishvara. If right now I am speaking, this speaking also I am offering to Ishvara. Everything, whatever I do, Yat Yat Karma Karomi, whatever I do, even I am sweeping, I am cleaning, whatever I am laundry, whatever karma is nothing but Tava Aradhanam. Because I know in laundry also Ishvara is there. In cleaning all vessels is nothing but Ishvara. Whatever I am cooking, that cooking ingredients is also Ishvara. So, Yat Yat Karma Karomi, whatever I do is nothing but Ishvara. Your Aradhanam means I'm doing worshipping you. Aradhanam means worship. Whatever karma is nothing but your worship only. Here Shambhu means Hey Shiva. There is a one lady I know, whenever she clean her house, then she create some poem regarding to Ishvara. I am cleaning my house, so Ishvara can come. There is a totally, there is a dust free, so Ishvara can sit anywhere. But this sweeping also is Aradhana, is just a worship. This type of mind is called yoga. This is nothing. Yoga is not particular action, but yoga means how we take each and every our action is a worship of Lord, is called karma yoga. That's why it says sanchara padayoho. Whenever I'm going with my legs, it's nothing but pradakshinam. Is literal. I'm just doing pradakshinam to temple. Stotrani sarvagiraha. Whatever I speak, sarvagiraha. Whatever I speak, my words are nothing but stotram, is like a prayers to Lord's. So this type of thinking is called one part of karma yoga, in which attitude I am performing the action, is one part of yoga. So yoga has two parts. One, how I am performing action. This is the one part. How we can perform action. Now, according to Pujya Swamini, he says, Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Ishvara Arpana means whatever I do, but in my buddhi, in my understanding, I am offering everything to whom? Ishvara. Arpana means offering to Ishvara. This is the first part of karma yoga. And now, second part, how to receive karma. This is the more challenging compared to perform karma. So it says, whatever we have listened from Pujya Swamiji, whatever we do, whatever karma, so if I know Ishvara, so Ishvara is all-knowing, sarvagyaha. There is a one word, sarvagyaha, means sarvam janati. So Ishvara is all-knowing. So at the same time, Ishvara is karma phaladata. He is a giver of our own result of our action. So karma phaladata. So whatever comes from Ishvara, we always take as a prasada. Whenever we go in the temple, sometime priest is in good mood, so he can give a laddu. Sometime priest must have fought, with wife, and he is not happy inside the temple, then he can give only tulsi patra. Sometime little bit, still is not happy, he can give Charanamritam. But we never ask, I need only laddu. Because we know whatever come from temple is only prasadam. Priest is only nimitta, is the instrument, but whatever comes is prasadam. Same way, Ishvara is karma phala data. He's sitting and he's giving our own results of our own action. So that karma phala can come to us in 4 ways. What Puja Swamiji says, more than we expect. That karma phala can come what we expect. Third one is less than our expectation. And fourth one is totally opposite also. So I have taken another way. Puja Swamiji is not Puja Swamiji's example. But if somebody person has a migraine, headache, and being headache, that person has taken a tablet, some medicine. But that person, he has not only migraine, headache, but same time, being a little bit elder, he has some leg pain, some shoulder pain. But when he takes this medicine, whole body pain may go. When he takes this medicine, body pain can go, only headache can go. Headache can go, but not completely, but little less headache will be there. So 3 type of result by eating medicine can come. First, headache will go and simultaneously body pain also can go. Second result, by taking medicine, only headache, completely headache can go. Third thing, headache cannot go completely, but little bit. Mild headache will be there, but that severity has gone. But fourth may be totally opposite. We may allergy have some ingredient, we may have allergy and no migraine, with body pain, we also develop some, whole red rashes on our whole skin. So total opposite. So 4 type of result we can have having take simple medicine. Same time, Ishwar can give our karma phalam in 4 ways. If we have target, in this year, I can have, suppose, $1 million profit. Suppose. So we can have more than 1 million, we can have 1 million, we can have less than 1 million, and totally, sometimes we have lost everything, opposite. Same way, any karma phala can come in this way. So how can we take this karma phala? Same way, whatever comes from the temple is nothing but prasadam. So by doing action, we have to keep Ishwararpana buddhi, but while receiving, we have to keep prasad buddhi. There is no translation for prasada. I don't know. Prasad buddhi. Whatever comes from temple is prasada. Whatever comes from Ishvara, any action, result of action is nothing but prasada. If I like, then also prasadam. If I don't like, but with murmuring, I can accept because it's from Ishvara, it's prasadam. This both attitude, while performing action, I am offering everything to Ishvara, and while receiving result of action is a prasada, this both attitude keeps our mind balanced. This is called samatva buddhi. More or less, not 100%, but more or less, we can have little bit. So something unusual happen, our mind is ready. Everything cannot come according to my expectation. So this is called karma yoga. And what will happen, by doing this type of karma yoga, our personal likes and dislikes will go. So whatever karma I will do, but not I am doing because I like, but I am doing because I have to offer to Ishvara. Something I don't like, but still I am doing. There is a one person I used to tell, I don't know here I have shared or not, but one person came to me. He was in the bank and I asked, how old you are? And he says 56, 57 years old. And he says, I have joined the bank when I was 22. So he was 56 and he joined the bank at the age of 22. So he did job in the bank 34 years. And what his complaint, he says, I don't like to do a job in the bank. So since 34 years, he keep on telling his mind, I don't like to do this. Still he has to do because he has family. But this I don't like, this give our mind upset. This type of depression comes why? Because we don't like. But if we take, even I like or don't like, I never take it personally, but I am doing my bank job because each and every karma, yat karma karomi, I will offer aradhanam. Then it won't give depression. But if our mind is always say no, then our mind disturbed. So this is one. And slowly our likes and dislikes will be less and less. And more and people say, what is the chitta shuddhi? There is a one word, purification of mind. In English and in our Sanskrit we say chitta shuddhi. But what is the meaning of chitta shuddhi? Simple meaning is no likes and no dislikes personally. Whatever comes is from Ishvara. It's called chitta shuddhi. And this chitta shuddhi only possible by karma yoga only. And one thing more I would like to share, when likes and dislikes will come, then people used to ask, so young, there are many youngsters, they have some likes and dislikes. So it is wrong to keep some like and dislike. Is it wrong? Bhagavan has said in 7th chapter, Dharma viruddha kamaha asmi dhananjaya. The meaning is, I am desire. Kamaha means I am desire, which is not away from dharma. Whatever likes and dislike, which is not away from dharma, everything is me. 1 minute. If I like to clean my teeth with some paste, so this is my personal likes. It doesn't hurt another. So what is the meaning of likes and which are good and which are not good, So it says, which one is harmful to me and others, our only needs should be less. Otherwise, all likes and dislikes are welcome. Somebody says, I don't like bitter gourd. Fine. It's likes, dislike, but doesn't hurt anyone. So we can keep some such likes and dislikes, but something, because of this, our likes, another is hurt. Only such likes and dislikes are not good. Somebody says, I don't like to go to see movie, but somebody says, I like. So it's okay, no problem. But because of our liking, somebody is hurt, then it's problem. Otherwise, all likes and dislikes are fine only. Even Shankaracharya has some desire, Kamaha means desire. Okay, what I have writing Bhashyam, everybody should understand. Everybody should read. Even Krishna has some desire, Arjuna should understand. So desire is not problem. But desire, because of our desire, somebody is hurt. This only problem. So always people ask, we should not keep desire. Keep desire, a galore, no problem. But only that desire should be, we should not keep, which hurt others at the same time us. And one thing also I would like to share, people used to ask, I would like to do bhakti. I don't like to do karma yoga. So can I do bhakti? Bhakti yoga, and I should not do karma yoga. But I used to say, without understanding Ishvara, karma yoga next impossible. So when we are offering our karma to Ishvara, is only devotion only. So karma yoga doesn't possible without understanding Ishvara. Even karma yoga doesn't possible without our devotion to Ishvara. So karma yoga and bhakti yoga is not separate. Both are one and same. Here karma yoga means our attitude towards Ishvara. It's called only, here we say bhakti yoga. So somebody say bhakti yoga is different, Raj yoga is different. No, but we should know what is the meaning of bhakti, what is the meaning of karma yoga. So karma yoga and bhakti yoga, we are sitting in front of altar and we are doing always bhajan, is not bhakti yoga. But whatever karma we are doing, but whatever is only for Ishvara is bhakti. So there is a no separate bhakti yoga than karma yoga. Bhakti include without devotion, no karma yoga. So both are one and same. Bhakti yoga and karma yoga. Any question regarding this? 1 minute. I should unmute. Any question?
Yes, Swaminiji, I have a question. When we, with the gist of it, what I understand is attitude is more important than the actual karma we are doing. And Ishwararpana Buddhi, and also for our own Chitta Shuddhi, we have to do karma. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And if that is right, like say, for example, when you were explaining in detail, it says this Naimittika karma, like doing this rituals and all that. And if we cannot do rituals, suppose I don't want to do rituals or it's not feasible for me, just doing prayers. Like say for Prayashchitta karma, we don't do anything on purpose, but sometimes we always do mistakes, because that's life, it happens. And just praying with asking for forgiveness for however I might have hurt unknowingly, is that good enough? Or
good enough. But if we have done, if really, if I have hurt someone, so we can go in front of that person. If we can say sorry, then it will be more nice. Communication will be more better,
Yeah, no, but it is not, you don't know who or what. Just prayer. And or yes, you could say sorry like that. Other one thing I want to know is, like you said, like say people earn money or whatever, even though we are doing it in legitimate way, in dharmic way, but it is still kamya karma, right? It is still, they are fulfilling their desire in a dharmic way. You can convert it into a yoga by using it for chitta shuddhi.
Yes, something we have kamya karma. Some they are young. They are a young girl, young boy. They can have desire, no? I have my own house. I have this type of income. Let it. Yes. They say let it be. But if some income come, so you have to give 10%. Just give and just enjoy 90%. If some house has come, then we are used to do, Gruha Puja. So we are offering whole house to Ishvara. Now I am living in your house. This is our attitude. So this is all are nice, nothing wrong in this. We can have all desire, no problem.
And like say all these Naimittika karma, like doing like all these ceremonies, like say Gruha Pravesha, okay, Gruha Pravesha, or what, when the child is born, there are so many things you do.
Yeah.
And after some time, is it necessary that we need to do them, or if we just live a good life, is that enough? It's just
no, but I used to say
all
some
rituals are important.
death is there, somebody has gone, passed away, then we have to do some rituals for them, no, for their good gati. It's for them. We are not doing for others. And this all sanskara, what they say, after child we have to do something. This sanskara, this is 16th type of sanskara in our Hindus. They say this is really speaking to make us more and more cultured. This is our thinking. Sometime we will take this old samskara. Each and every has, different aspect. Why we are performing. Samskrutam is called samskaraha. More you do this type of samskara, you become more and more pure.
But like if I am not in a position, like I don't know all these rituals, I don't know this lokam, and I don't have time to go and do it. Like, there will be a particular date, time, which is Shubha, Kalam and everything.
Yeah, okay.
I will not be able because at that time, is that like we need to take it very seriously, or
no,
it's okay?
No, it's okay.
Okay. And other thing I want to ask, which is very dear to my heart, but also right now I feel there is not much of scope to come out of this situation, is Pitru Yagna, where we don't know when we are young. As you said, we have some desires. We want to do something, and at that time we think, okay, I will go to America. You want to explore, you want to see, kind of young age, and you come to a different country, and we have hardships, we succeed, all that is there, and then as we come to our middle age, right? So then we have our children who are born and raised here. They feel they belong here. But for us, we have half of our duty back at home, like with our parents or back home. They may not like, they don't like, at least for me, our parents are very happy in India. They don't want to come to America. And I am here in between. I have a job. I do, take care of my children, and everything I'm doing as much as possible in the right attitude. I do pray for my parents and my in-laws, but how do you do this Pitru Yagna? I'm not serving them apart from giving some emotional support and financial support. Is this?
You can talk. You can talk with them frequently, like that only. All parents come to foreign, no? It's okay. Any question? No? Then shall we to Purna Mother? No question, no? Yeah.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Harihi Om.
Harihi Om. Thank you, Swamiji.